out as we are kickstarting our Black History Month series here in Mississauga Seventh Adventist Church right here, February 2025. You want to remember this. This is a historic day. We just had a message that was given to us, speaking truth to power. And I don't know where you might be watching this from, wherever you are going to tune in. And those who are already online here, we are welcoming you and thankful that you're with us here online. I have the man of the hour who God has placed the word and he has delivered it. And I know sometimes as a preacher myself, it's never easy to stand before people, but I can say that the Lord was with him. Help us today to welcome Royson James. Sir, welcome to the After Chat.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for gracing us with the word of God today, titled Speaking Truth to Power, Black Resistance. I know there's a lot that goes into, preparing the word, and delivering it is another thing. So how was the process as you were thinking about this invitation and looking at the context of what we face in our world today? How did God speak to you to come to this point?
Well, there are so many evidences and examples of power being exhibited, power being used by so many leaders across the globe, that finding the power source is not difficult. Sometimes it might be a little bit more difficult to find the people who are speaking truth to power.
Right.
Number one is it's difficult to define what is truth in these times. But the topic for the Black History Month, which is Black Resistance, and then the topic that was given me for this Sabbath was speaking truth to power.
Speaking truth to power.
So it was then easy to focus on that, and then once that became the topic, the big challenge was just pretty much how do you distill it down to essentials that you can deliver in a short period of time, because there are just so many examples all across the globe of power that needs to be checked,
right?
And power that needs to be spoken to, at least from a Christian and from a God perspective.
I love it. I love how you use the word to distill. You had to find a way how to bring it to the people, and it to be palatable to them. During this time of Black history, there is a lot of tension sometimes when you have to contribute with a message like you shared. And so in your space of work, by the way, maybe for the viewers who might not know, what do you do yourself?
I mean, for a living? Well, I'm a journalist. I've been a journalist since the late 70s. I mean, I went to Andrews University and studied journalism.
Shout out to Andrews, yes.
And little boy from Jamaica, Orange District, Sign Post Office, St. James, Jamaica, West Indies. So I always and continue to see myself as a little boy in short pants, and grew up and came to this country, studied journalism, and worked at the Toronto Star since 1981.
Awesome.
And covering municipal politics and going all over the world, writing all sorts of stories, and just felt that I've been blessed and lucky and pleased and privileged that God laid his hands on me, and that I can see his working, in that he allowed me to be in several different positions so that I can actually proclaim and actually amplify the voices of people. Because people think of journalists as, oh, you guys, you're great, whatever. But I keep saying, I'm not a prophet, right? I'm go up on the mountaintop. I'm not Moses, and if I'm Moses, I'm not God, right? So I'm usually talking about something that's being told to me, and I'm reporting, and I'm amplifying and analyzing, and so God has put me in those positions so that I can proclaim, and I'm given the opportunity to speak truth to power, to take the voices of many and put it on the platform of the Toronto Star, and then project it to the world.
Amazing. As you have heard yourself, that you, as an author, as a journalist, you went through this series of training, but you decided not only to keep it to yourself, but to use it as a footing to be able to make change to the world. As the Andrews University motto says, for those who might not know, seek faith. It says, seek knowledge, affirm your faith, and change the world. And you are doing this in real time. And there's somebody perhaps who's watching. Some of the texts, verses that you used were, let justice roll down like a river. You also went into Isaiah, and you touched about how the Spirit of the Lord, when Jesus later uses it in Luke. And so the Spirit of the Lord has been on you and appointed you and anointed you to proclaim. There's somebody here perhaps in a different field. It's easy sometimes, we can say, for pastors, people who are already involved in ministry, to go out there and share the message of justice and to call out power when they're going wrong. So how can somebody perhaps in another field, in another career, maybe a young person, a senior, middle age, anybody else who's not in the mainstream ministry, use their platform to go out there and use their voice to change the world and speak truth to power?
Well, power exists everywhere. And the truth needs to be proclaimed everywhere. Like my job, if I can do it with my profession, that means anybody can. Because journalists don't have a repository of knowledge, right, or wisdom, right? We are talking to the social worker. We're talking to the scientists. We're talking to the business person.
Right.
And we are then distilling what they're saying and putting it in a communicable way so that the average person can understand it. So all I'm doing is taking what you're saying is that me going to court and then being a court reporter and reporting out the next day as to what happened in court.
Gotcha.
So if you are a social worker, come on. You're surrounded by people who in need of help and assistance. You're defining where the poor are. You are telling me, you're pointing to me where to go to find the story, right? If you're a business person, the same thing. You're a mortgage lender, for instance, right? Tell me that you don't understand clearly what affordability issues are in the city and how people have a problem getting housing.
You could always contextualize in any role.
So you don't have to go in the other person's field.
Right.
Right where you are.
Yeah.
There are people who are suffering. They're oppressed. They're always. The society is very stratified.
Right.
And so there's always people who are oppressed, people who are on the wrong end of things. And those are the people that you, a child of God, should be looking out for.
Right.
The rich and the powerful and the strong, they don't need you. The people who need a hand are the ones who are down there. And if you see yourself as the agent
of change.
Yes,
sir.
And that God has put you there for that purpose. You have no idea what it's going to be.
Right.
On any given day you go to work, you don't know how God's going to use you.
So
you just got to make yourself available.
Make yourself available. Be willing. Do it scared. You mentioned about how Moses went up there and he didn't know the words. He was not the greatest orator, but he did it even scared. And so be brave. The Lord is with you. And before we wrap it up today, you addressed well. You gave us the movement of the Spirit within you, but we also see the Spirit moving in the exterior in how you're dressed. So there's something significant that you're wearing. Maybe you could share with people. I know I got on something cultural, which is called isigqoko. It's right here on my head, but I want to learn on what you are wearing. Maybe somebody out there wants to just get a glimpse. So if you could share with us.
This is my Black History Month. It comes out once a year for the month of December. I usually put it on my black suit and I wear this. I should know what African nation this is, but I don't. I'm sorry. Maybe somebody watching can tell me what it is, right? It's
that's
fun.
all right. With my little knowledge from the motherland, I would attribute it probably to the Western Africa. They usually call it a kente stole. I had one for my graduation as well. And so thank you for coming out here, gracing us with the whole of you, so that God could use you to make a difference right here in Mississauga. And I know somebody has been inspired to go out there and speak truth to power. And as we close it out here from After Chat, we are saying to you, wherever you are, whatever role, whatever position or platform the Lord has placed you in, go out there, let him use you. Whether you are afraid or whether you're bold, God can use anybody to reach out to anyone. And so this week, make it your commitment. This month, as we're going through Black history, and for the rest of your life, make it a commitment to be the hands and feet of Jesus. So that at the end of it all, like he said in Matthew 25, when he comes, when he asks, where were you when I was hungry? You could raise your hand. You could admit that, Lord, I was there. And so from us here in After Chat, we like to pray that the Lord be with you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And God bless you. God bless you. Blessings.